All these? All right, we're going to begin our meeting tonight. We just came out of closed session, so we've been working. I wanted to start the meeting out tonight and say thank you to our board members that put so much time in throughout the week and each month. We've went to a stricter drug policy, and we also worked on our student conduct when it comes to cussing and being disrespectful to our teachers. And so we have seen more kids come to our student discipline hearings, and therefore it's added more time for us as board members on our weekly schedule. I know many of us come in, have to take off work or have to take away time from family, and so I just wanted to start the meeting off tonight and letting the public know that's one thing that this new board has done. We wanted to make sure that there are the drugs that were in our school, that we were addressing those issues, and also the student conduct for our teachers, because that's one of the leading causes nationally trending why teachers are leaving the profession, is because of the disrespect from our kids. And so this board has chosen to take that on, but I want you guys to know as a community that they put in a lot of time, personal time, away from family and away from work, and we're not getting rich doing this job. So I just wanted to say thank you to each and every single board member that's here tonight for the time you put in away from your families and away from your job and work. So thank you, guys. First thing on our agenda tonight is a moment of silence. Will you join me tonight with a moment of silence? Thank you very much. At this time, if you can, will you stand with me as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance? First thing on our agenda tonight is to recognize students in our school for our Kelly Cogsdale Character Counts and Students of the Month. But I wanted to go over and read, this is something that we're required, the school board's required by law to make sure this is enforced inside of our public education. So a lot of people don't know that, so I like to read this occasionally to let you know this is required by law that we do, and this is why we do this part of our board meetings. So in the Virginia Code 22.1-208.01 is the character educational required. And it says this, it says the purpose of the character education program shall be to instill in students civic virtues and personal character traits so as to improve the learning environment, promote student achievement, reduce disciplinary problems, and develop civic-minded students of high character. The components of each program shall be developed in cooperation with the students, their parents, and the community at large. The basic character traits taught may include 1, trustworthiness, including honesty, integrity, reliability, and loyalty. 2, respect, including the precepts of the Golden Rule, tolerance, and courtesy. 3, responsibility, including hard work, economic self-reliance, accountability, diligence, perseverance, and self-control. 4, fairness, including justice, consequences of bad behavior, principles of non-discrimination, and freedom from prejudice. 5, caring, including kindness, empathy, compassion, consideration, generosity, and charity. And 6, citizenship, including patriotism, the Pledge of Allegiance, respect for the American flag, concern for the common good, and respect for the authority and law and community mindedness. And so these students tonight that you're going to see receive these rewards are students who display those 6 pillars of our character counts. And so tonight, first on our list is Miss Teresa Shank, and she is the principal here at Pence Middle School. So if you'll come on to the podium, Ms. Shank.
All right, so our first recipient of the Brittany Lamb Kelly Cogsdale Character Counts Award for Wilbur Pence is Lane Swartzentruber. Lane is always kind to others and polite to her teachers. She is always willing to help whenever she is asked. She is a hard worker and strongly desires to do better in all she does. Lane is always positive and encourages others no matter what the circumstances are. Lane leads by example, and we are always very proud of Lane. Congratulations, Lane, and thank you for being such a good role model for the other students to follow. Lane is the daughter of Stephen and Katie Swartzentruber. Come on down, Lane.
For each of our students tonight, we're giving a certificate as well as a gift certificate to Kleins and a character counts pin.
Hello. Our second award winner is Ian Rice. He is the son of Sheldon and Teresa Rice. Ian is a respectful and kind student. He works diligently in class and stays positive in all settings. You can always count on Ian to give 100% in everything he does. Ian is a friend to all and leads by example. Congratulations, Ian. We appreciate you and the positive outlook that you share with others.
Give them another hand as they go sit down. Thank you. Next on our list tonight is Principal Drew Miller, principal at Mountain View Elementary. Good to have you, Mr. Miller.
At Mountain View, we hold a crown above every student's head and then help them grow into it. Tonight, we recognize two kids who don't need a lot of help. Josie, can you come down? I'm going to talk about Josie Nieder first up. She's in Miss Lehman's class. Let's hear it for Josie. Let's get the clap going. All right. Josie exemplifies every single characteristic of what this Character Counts Award is looking for in a student. This is from her teacher, Miss Lehman, and other teachers. She exhibits each of the 6 pillars of character daily inside and outside the classroom. Josie is always smiling as she greets her peers and is always willing to lend a helping hand. She's extremely responsible and dependable and is always offering to help the teacher out around the classroom. Most recently, we had a student who was temporarily in a wheelchair. Josie went out of her way to help the student with her belongings, lunch tray, and navigated her around the building. Josie never hesitates when she sees a peer struggling. She's always willing to lend a helping hand. Josie's positivity is contagious, and she shines so bright in our classroom. You want to go shake her hand? Okay, Daryl, let's go. Come on up, Daryl. Let's hear it for Daryl Knight. Daryl is also a 5th grader. He's in Miss Caffo's class. According to Miss Caffo, Daryl embodies and models each and every single characteristic of what this Character Counts Award seeks in a student. He demonstrates each of the 6 pillars of character daily in all areas of the school. Daryl's always smiling, is extremely kind and considerate toward his peers, and is always willing to help teachers and classmates out. He's extremely responsible and is a model student to all those around him. Daryl is such a kind, caring, compassionate, and happy-go-lucky student. It's our pleasure to have him in class. Do you want to listen? If the Knights and the Nieders want to come down and take awkward pictures really quickly, that's okay. Is that okay? We used to do the awkward pictures. Come on down, parents. Come on down. Let's take awkward pictures really quickly. All right, one more round of applause for
Thank you,
our
guys.
students. Next up, we have our volunteer, I think. Can I do that? School volunteer. Absolutely. Our school volunteer is Mr. Charlie Parrish. He's here. Come on up, Charlie. Mr. Parrish, let's hear from Mr. Parrish. This is my favorite photo of Mr. Parrish. He's operating the mini excavator as we did some playground renovation at Mountain View. And he does many things to make our school function. And he has many young children, so he'll be there for years and years and years to come. Mr. Parrish is our PTO president. He does so much to support our school and its needs, whether it's borrowing a neighbor's dump truck and operating a mini excavator to remove a dilapidated bug garden structure, or dumping wood chips on our playground, or presenting on Title I nights, or finding new and creative ways to fund our playground improvement project. He's our guy, and like I mentioned, because he actually has, oh, there's the fourth child. All his young children are here, so we're excited for really decades of service from Mr. Parrish. Let's hear from Mr. Parrish. Can that Klein's gift card be split 6 ways? That's what we'll have to see. All right, I think I'm done, right? It's over for me. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
All right, thanks, guys.
Ms. Shank, would you like to come back up and do your volunteer?
Since Mr. Miller just kind of discombobulated the whole meeting, but what's new? Our volunteer of the year is Miss Charity McDormand. Charity donates her time throughout the school year to help with numerous athletic events. She has done a fantastic job helping with teachers' meals, organizing uniforms for our sports teams, chaperoning at school events, and providing various other supports for our faculty, staff, and students. Charity can always be counted on to lend a helping hand. She's actually our attendance clerk here at school, and she's here all the time, and we depend on her. I can say without a shadow of a doubt, I'm not sure what we'd do without her. So, Miss Charity McDormand, you want to come on down? This.
Thank you. We give her another hand. Next on our list tonight is Ms. Brubaker, admin designee from Audubon Elementary School.
So at Audubon, our 5th grade teachers collaborated to come up with our character accounts. So our first character accounts winner is Luke Hoover. Mrs. Kaiser, Luke's 5th grade teacher, shares that Luke is a kind and caring friend who is considerate of others. He is a respectful and hardworking student that comes to school every day with a positive attitude and willingness to work. Needless to say, he is a great role model for his peers. We are proud to have Luke represent Audubon Elementary.
Our second Character Accounts Award goes to Caroline Nicely. 5th grade team. Oh, yep, go ahead. The 5th grade team at Audubon Elementary School recognizes Caroline Nicely for her exemplifying qualities of the Character Counts pillar. Caroline is very honest and can be trusted. Friends and teachers value her loyalty, honesty, and integrity. She is courteous to other students as well as adults. Caroline always tries her best and puts forth a positive attitude. She shows courage and leadership in the classroom. She stays open-minded and listens to others' opinions. Caroline is kind to all students and always makes sure no one feels left out. It is an honor to recognize Caroline for being such a great role model.
I just want to add that tonight's really special tonight because the last two students, Luke and Caroline, were former students of mine when I taught at Otterbein Elementary School. And I know for a fact that these kids are well deserving of the Character Counts Award. So congratulations, kiddos.
And then our volunteer of the year is Miss Michelle Shiflett. Michelle, can you come down, please? She just happened to be working picture day for us, and our wonderful photographer was like, I'll get her picture for you. So it worked out perfect for us. Rockingham County Public Schools has a practice known as book finders. Book finders is a process where any book being read aloud to students, whether as whole class, small group, and/or individual students, is first evaluated before being placed on the approved book finders list of books. The critique for the book requires that any new book going to be used as a read aloud is evaluated by 3 different people, including any combination of teachers, staff members, and parents. For the school year of 2023-2024, and I've already started this year, Otterbein Elementary has had a vast number of new books being added to the book finders list. Numerous parents were involved with the evaluation of these books. Michelle Shiflett was one parent who continuously evaluated books for any grade level needed at Otterbein Elementary School. Ms. Shiflett has a vested interest at OES and values reading to children. She and her husband recently had a TA graduate who was an otter and currently still has a student at OES in 1st grade. Mrs. Shiflett is always willing to help with the book finders and enjoys the opportunity to use these books as story time with her son. Otterbein loves that we have so many parents invested in their children's education and specifically want to thank Ms. Michelle Shiflett for her time and effort reading and evaluating books that teachers can use in their classrooms.
Next on our agenda tonight is our Inspire Awards. And our Inspire Awards was created for RCPS stakeholders to recognize a teacher or staff member who has impacted their life, inspired their learning, or made a distinct impression on their child. The nominations are accepted from students, parents, and student teachers, classroom volunteers, and community members. And tonight we have Robin Conrad, parent, presenting to Joe Inc., music teacher at Mountain View Elementary School.
Hi, I'm Robin Conrad from Mountain View Elementary School. I have 3 girls in the school, a 5th grader, 2nd grader, and a kindergartner. And Miss Enke is our music teacher. Do you want to? You get to come stand, the awkward stand. I'm just going to read what my children helped me to write for her nomination form. Mrs. Enke is the best music teacher. She somehow manages to get all of the kids of all different ages wrangled to put on, that was my 5th grader's word, wrangled to put on several performances every year. She also does extracurriculars like choir, performing for the Ruritans, and this year she's doing a musical. She writes grants to help support music education. She inspired my girls to start playing instruments and to audition and join the Shenandoah Valley Children's Choir, which is where they happen to be tonight. They really wanted to be here. She knows everyone's name and checks in with kids throughout the whole day. She is so creative and fun. Thank you, Miss Enke.
Thank you. Next on our list tonight is Kevin Flint, parent, who will be presenting to Heather Harper, second grade teacher at John C. Myers Elementary.
Good evening, everyone. Our family has been so fortunate this year to have Miss Heather Harper in our lives as our daughter Charlotte, hanging out over here, as her second grade teacher. She's incredibly warm and caring towards students and parents, making a dedicated effort to get to know them personally throughout the school year. She also goes to great lengths to make sure we as parents are informed, posting constant updates on Seesaw, letting us know what they're going through each week. And just recently, she took time out of her personal schedule to come see our daughter on multiple occasions. One, cheerleading at the Broadway high school football game, and also when our daughters did a fundraising lemonade stand for recent hurricane relief victims. And so just really cool to see her take time out of her day to come support the needs of our students outside of school. When my daughter Charlotte saw Miss Harper outside the school day, it absolutely made her day and her week to see her on a personal level. And after the first week of school, Ms. Harper mailed a handwritten note to our daughter that just said, "Hey, I'm really excited to get to know you," and how cool is that? And it just absolutely made her day, and it's framed in her room right now. It just meant that much to her. It's hard to put into words, really, in something like this, the kind of impact that a teacher's actions like that can have on our kids. And so we're just incredibly thankful to have teachers like Ms. Harper in the lives of our daughter. After the second day of school, she came home to us, and the first thing she said was, "Mommy, Daddy, second grade's gonna be my best year yet. I already know that." We couldn't agree more, so congratulations, Heather. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you. Next on our list tonight is Carmina Kaiser, parent, presenting to Ginger Emsweiler, second grade teacher at Plains Elementary.
My name's Carmina. We've been a part of Ginger's class for quite a while. I have had 2 kids out of our 3 in Ginger's class. I'm going to stick to the paper. It is with heartfelt admiration that I nominate Ginger Emsweiler for the RCPS Inspire Award. Ginger has an unwavering commitment to her students. She reaches above and beyond being an educator and is really a shining example of dedication. Her patience is a huge hallmark of her teaching. She approaches each student's challenges with calm understanding, creating a nurturing environment where learning happens at the pace each student needs. Her influence extends far beyond academics. She consistently encourages students to be their best selves, both in and out of the classroom. Her positive influence is evident in the way she inspires them to be curious, respectful, and compassionate individuals. Creativity is at the heart of Ginger's teaching style. Her engaging lessons captivate her students' imaginations, fostering a love for learning that lasts long after they leave the classroom. Compassion and genuine care are traits that define her relationship with not only her students, but also her students' parents. She truly cares about the well-being of each individual, offering a listening ear and support when students are going through difficult times. Her classroom is a safe space where students know they're valued, respected, and loved. Our family has been so lucky to have been a part of Ginger's classroom multiple times, so I can truly speak to the lasting effect she's had on her students. I wholeheartedly nominate Ginger for this well-deserved recognition. She's more than a teacher. She is a mentor, a role model, and inspiration to all who are fortunate to know her. Sorry, I didn't mean to cry. I did it.
Can we give one more hand for all our teachers tonight?
Chair Cross and board members. Tonight, we would like to recognize Mrs. Jen Dove, a third grade teacher at Linville Edom Elementary School. In August, Mrs. Dove was selected to be a fellow with the Goyen Literacy Foundation. The foundation supports and amplifies the work of expert literacy teachers and collaborates with parents, scientists, and other organizations promoting evidence-based literacy instruction. Mrs. Dove was ranked as one of the top candidates of all the applicants who were selected, and she is also the first teacher from Virginia to be accepted to the Goyen Literacy Foundation. While in this fellowship, she will be able to share highly effective literacy instructional practices with teachers across the country and encourage successful reading for all children. We would like to say congratulations to Mrs. Dove. Mr. Dudash, we invite you to the podium. You have a special presentation this evening, I do believe.
I wanted our superintendent. I wanted our superintendent to recognize you tonight because Mr. Dudash, you retired from Rockingham County Public Schools, was a principal, and spent a lot of time on the east end of the county, if I'm correct here, at Elkton Middle School. So we thank you for your service and all that you've done in our community throughout the years.
Dr. Shiflett, members of the school board, and RIFI members, good evening. My name is Joe Dudash, and I am representing the 1,000 members of the Harrisonburg Eagles. I want to thank all of you for your service to the students of Rockingham County. A special thank you goes to Dr. Shiflett. This is a sideline, but I went to him. He had just been hired as our superintendent, and I was working on a grant. This never happened. I've worked under 5 superintendents and never had one do this. He gave me his cell phone number and said, call me anytime, Joe. No one does that. It was fantastic. So, of course, I took him up on it. I had a question. He was on a family vacation and took the time to talk to me and answer my questions. Thank you very much. The motto of the Eagles is people helping people. One of our main goals is helping other community organizations with donations. Over the past several years, we have donated over $200,000 to the organizations. During the next 3 months, we are focusing on the first responders in our area, police, fire, and rescue. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce our president. He has been in office for 6 years, and with his leadership, we weathered the pandemic, and we are flourishing. Garnet Varner.
Thank you, and good evening. Education, one of the top priorities of the Harrisonburg Eagles over the past years, working with the administration, especially Sandy Rinker, at the Macedon Tech Center. The Eagles has provided over $50,000 in grants for the nursing program. This year, we also donated $5,000 to Rockingham Academy for student supplies. It is my pleasure to present a donation of $25,000 to the Rockingham County Education Foundation for the purchase of supplies for the teacher depot.
Thank you. We want to thank the Eagles for doing that. All right, we're going to move on to our board highlights tonight, and I'm going to change things up a little bit. I'm going to go first tonight. because I was very thankful and pleased today with the field trip that Aaron Good, civics teacher out at Montevideo Middle School, planned and took us on along with his boss, supervisor of history, Bo Dickinson. And we went out to Port Republic. We met at the Port Republic Hall, and we walked over and saw the Civil War history that took place in the town of Port Republic. We went over to where the bridge was burned. We learned about the community that was thriving at that time before the war had happened. And we also went to see the Battle of Cross Keys. He took us there, and we learned the history on that as well. So one of the things that when I first got elected or I ran on my campaign was that I wanted to make sure that our kids are learning our local history. And it's very important for me that we teach that. I'll remember I went through as a kid McGackiesville Elementary School, Montevideo Middle, and then Spotswood, and had no idea until I graduated high school about the battles of Port Republic and Cross Keys, and it's right outside on my back door at Montevideo Middle School. So I think it's important for our students to learn our local history and to know these things. And so I'm going to be working with the board to hopefully make sure that this history doesn't become lost history amongst our kids, and that we can either create IDMs and also go on to field trips, which won't cost us anything but a bus driver. So if you want to drive a bus for us, come on out. But to get our kids out to these sites and to learn, because one of the things that we saw today was Aaron did such a great job today. Miss Hurst also was another board member that came along on the field trip today. And he had object-based learning. He had artifacts of the war. He had cannonballs that he had found. Mr. Good grew up in Cross Keys, and so he is our local historian of those two battles and has tons of artifacts that he shared with us today and a lot of stories. And when we are able to get kids out of the classroom and get them out into the community and see these lessons for themselves, to hold history in their hands, it's like a hook that grabs a hold of them where they want to learn more and want to know more of the history that we live here around here. So that's really important for me as a board member and wanting to make sure that we don't lose our history. And so I just want to say thank you to Mr. Good today for all the time and work that you put into that, and also Bo Dickinson. Thank you guys for taking us out on that, and thank you, Ms. Gilkinson, for all that you did in planning the event today, and all those teachers that came out and joined us, and those from central office that came out. Thank you guys for coming as well. So that's my highlight for tonight, and I'll start with Miss Lore down on my left.
And that sounds like an awesome trip. I'm sorry I couldn't make it, but hey, if you also need a free bus driver, let me know, because I actually one of my highlights for this week was I drove the FCCLA from Broadway to the State Fair of Virginia, and that it was really neat to see those kids be able to go down and interact and compete and just be able to be part of FCCLA for a change. I know that there were tons of FFA kids heading that way too. And then, which brings me to next week, the FFA will be heading to the National FFA Convention, and we've got lots of kids competing, so keep them in your minds and hearts and hope that they have a nice, safe travel. We have 4 national finalists for Ag Science Fair that I've been helping. Rhiannon Mongold from right here, she went to Pence last year, so she's representing Pence. Then we've got Kaylin Burke from J. Frank Hilliard, he's representing J. Frank Hilliard. And then Halen Keller and Thomas Lohr from Broadway High School that are all competing as national finalists. That means they're top 10 in the nation. We've also got several other students that are competing because they were first in the state. But with Ag Science Fair, you have to qualify to be able to go. So just keep all those folks in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lohr. Ms. Hurst?
The highlight that I want to share this evening is that over the weekend, I attended the Shenandoah Valley Marching Invitational that all 4 of our high school marching bands competed in. So I was was thrilled to be there and to support them and to watch just an incredible job that each of our 4 high schools did representing their schools and their district. I haven't heard the final results because I left before the end of the awards, but I know they did an incredible job. I also brought along one of my children who's in band here at Pence because I'm hoping that he will be inspired by what he saw, and I think he was. He was very excited about what he saw, but I'm hoping that he will be inspired to join marching band here in a couple of years when it's his turn to do so. So just congratulations to all of our marching bands. There's an incredible amount of work that goes into preparing for these. When I was at TA as a student myself, I was in the marching band, so I know how many countless hours are put in during the summer and then after school. And it's I just have such incredible memories from being in marching band with my friends, and I just think it's great that Rockingham County has such strong fine arts programs. That's my highlight.
Thank you, Ms. Hurst. Ms. Cave?
Well, my highlight tonight actually was seeing Mr. Dudash. I didn't even realize he was in attendance, but he was a principal when I was in Elkton Middle School, and so every time I see him, I just, it takes me back and sort of reminds me of the very reason that I ran for this seat. So I was very excited to see him tonight, and just thank you for all of your years of service. It actually wasn't my highlight, that was the excitement of my night. But sort of following Chairman Cross's lead in recognizing a person, and I would just say that I'm doing this because we have been, as the chairman said at the beginning of the night, we've been so busy in meetings and just studying and reading policy and doing all these things. It's actually affected my ability a little bit to get into the schools, which I absolutely hate, but because I like being there. So I wanted this week to recognize a person as well, and that's Steve Reed, our Director of Maintenance. He is just invaluable to our division, and I'm very thankful for him. He's a wealth of knowledge in what he does. We're lucky to have him on our side. He recently was at Elkton Elementary School, and I have to say, Mr. Reed, I had so many inquiries about the renovation. I was surprised that the cafeteria wasn't more full, because people ask everywhere I go, like, what exactly, are they doing there? And he was just so gracious in answering all the questions that people were asking. I mean, down to Miss McCrae's, question about the colors of the front doors, it's very important. So, he just, from stuff like that down to the, very important stuff that we do with maintenance to make sure that your kids are safe while they're in our schools during the daytime. He's just a great person to have on our side, and I just thank you for your years of faithfulness to our division, Mr. Reed.
I'd like to say a here. Can we give Mr. Reed a hand tonight? Thank you, Mr. Reed. Ms. Bergline?
So I have several highlights over the last, I think it's been 3 weeks. But one thing, and I'm not sure if we have a good picture. There's my picture. So for the last, I guess, 2.5 months, I was able to, this was my 4th year coaching Parks and Rec cheerleading. And these are 215 of our students from all over the county. Myself and my daughter in there somewhere. But it has been so awesome, so fun watching these girls grow and work together as a team and have fun. I had 19 of the 215, and Taylor May and Kirby Dean, I have to say thank you publicly to them at Parks and Rec, and really everybody at Parks and Rec. They work so hard for our youth. And if your kids are elementary age and have not joined a Parks and Rec sport, I completely urge you to check it out, because it's a blast and the volunteers are amazing. I signed my husband up to be a basketball coach, so that's starting, I guess, last week. He's having a blast. But it's awesome. It's really cool to see these kids and to have these teams from kids from all different schools within their area. So, and I look at these little girls who are 3rd and 4th grade, and one day, they'll all be in the same middle school together. So I think it builds a sense of community, which is really important for me. And one thing that I care so greatly about within Rockingham County and within the school board. So that was awesome. And yeah, 215 girls and all volunteer parents as coaches. And it's just, I know Mrs. Cave has done it a lot and has missed it the past couple of years, but it's a blast. Anyway, so I know homecoming was such a bummer for Broadway, just with all the rain and moving the game and no parade, which was very disappointing for my girls. But I was able to go to the unified homecoming basketball game, and that was amazing. I see people clapping. It was, did you go to Broadway? It was amazing, and it was amazing watching the players and watching just the teamwork from both sides. I think they played TA, and the student body was awesome. Like, they were the best cheerleaders for both teams. Like, it was, I was blown away at how awesome our kids are, and that was really cool. A couple other things I've been being like just crazy mom, volunteering at the book fair, going on field trips with my kids, which has been a blast. We did a math night at my kids' school, which was really cool. And Mrs. Dove that was honored tonight is my daughter's teacher, and we love her, so I have to extra shout her out tonight because she's amazing. And yeah, I've been volunteering with our PTO like crazy as well. And anybody who's a part of the PTO, I know they're I can't remember his last name, but the gentleman from Mountain View that was honored tonight, I've seen some of his work with the PTO, and it's amazing out there at Mountain View how many volunteers he can get together and all the cool events he does. So if you're not a part of the PTO or you have one at your school, volunteer because we all need help, and it's really, really rewarding. So I thank our volunteers who do, not only coaching, but on our volunteer staff with the PTO and things like that, because it's so important for the kids. So I have 10 more highlights, but I'll spare you guys.
Dr. Shiflett?
Right. First, we have 2 young men here in the audience that I would like to recognize. They are celebrating their 5th birthday tonight, Andrew and Daniel Burgoyne. So thank you for being here. Stand up, guys, so we can give you a round of applause.
Yes.
Happy
Please
birthday.
stand up. Mom, will you please lead us in a happy birthday for your kids tonight? Please. Ready?
So Mr. Cross at the beginning of the meeting talked about, compliments and commending the school board members for their work and dedication. And so there's an example of a mom whose twins turned 5 tonight, and she's at the board meeting. And I told her I would give her a pass to miss and be home with her family. So so thank you for being here, Mrs. Burgoyne. And fellas, thank you for being here to celebrate. It's maybe a birthday you won't forget. I don't know. So I, too, just would like to give a quick shout out to our marching bands. I had an opportunity to go and watch, it was 3 of our schools at the Parade of Champions at Bridgeforth Stadium at James Madison University. And they all performed very well. I think at that performance, Spotswood had 3rd place in their class, Broadway had 4th place, and then Turner Ashby earned 1st place in their class. And so I was very impressed with our students and how well they performed. And just want to give a shout out to our band teachers. They begin almost mid-July with band camp, and they start the process, and they go up until like the first week of November. They still have 2 or 3 more weeks of competition. And also to our students who are dedicated to that cause. Mrs. Burgoyne mentioned the unified game, and I went to the one this past week at East Rockingham, and their pep band was there playing, right? And the energy that the kids brought, it just changes the atmosphere when the band is playing, and it was so great to see them, and I thank them for being there and doing that, and also all the parents. I didn't do band as a student, but as I've gone to watch some of these competitions and all the equipment that has to be brought in and get arranged and get set up for the competition to begin, and then all that stuff has to be sort of carted off, and moms and dads are there helping do all that work. And so thank you to all the families out there who are supporting your band students. So that's all I have for now.
Thank you, Dr. Shiflett. Yes, give him a hand tonight. I think we got some band students tonight. All right, we're going to take a 5-minute recess. For anyone that needs to leave this time, you can, but we're going to take a 5-minute recess, and we'll start our meeting right back up. Thank you. All right, we'll start back up here, and first on our list tonight is action items, and we need to approve, the board needs to approve the minutes for September 23rd and September 25th, 2024, and I'd like to, do I hear a motion to approve those?
We approve the minutes from September 23 and September 25, 2024.
Thank you, Ms. Lord. Do I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Cave. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes. Yes. All opposed, say no. All right, motion passes 4-0. Next on our list tonight is bills and mileage, and Dr. Shiflett, you have that.
Chair Cross and board members, I recommend approval of the September 2024 bills as presented.
Thank you, Dr. Shiflett. Board members, hearing recommendation of the superintendent, do I hear a motion to approve that?
We approve the bills and mileage as presented.
Thank you, Ms. Lord. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Burgoyne. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes. Yes. All opposed say no. All right, motion passes 4-0. Next on our list tonight to approve is field trips, and Dr. Shiflett, you have that as well.
Chair Cross and board members, I have several field trips for your consideration. First, Massanutten Technical Center, FFA National Convention, October the 22nd through the 26th, 2 students, Indianapolis. Turner Ashby High School, One Act Theater Conference, October the 24th through the 27th, 16 students in Richmond, Virginia. And then Elkton Middle School, FCCLA, College Day, November 5th through the 6th, 4 students, Norfolk, Virginia. And I recommend approval of these field trips.
All right, thank you, Dr. Shiflett. Board members, do I hear a motion?
I move to follow the superintendent's recommendation to approve the field trips as presented.
Thank you, Ms. Burgoyne. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Lohr, any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes. Yes. All those opposed say no. All right, motion passes 5-0, or yep, 5-0. Have I been saying 4-0 because we was in closed session a while ago? Have I been saying 4-0? All right, it's been 5-0. I apologize. We were in closed session and one was missing, so I apologize if I have. Next on our list tonight, 2 action items are 2 books that have went through the committee, and Dr. Shiflett, you have this.
Yes, the first book is Allegedly, upon review by the Content Review Committee in accordance with RCPS policy IIABB, I recommend retaining Allegedly by Tiffany Jackson, as the book does not contain sexually explicit content as that term is defined in RCPS policy IIABA.
I move to remove Allegedly by Tiffany Jackson, as this book does contain sexually explicit content as that term is defined in RCPS policy IIABA.
Thank you, Ms. Cave. I second that. Any questions or comments on that? Hearing none, we will do a roll call vote, and Ms. Gickelson, you'll do that.
Ms. Lohr?
No.
Ms. Hurst?
Yes.
Ms. Cave?
Yes.
Ms. Burgoyne?
Yes.
Chair Cross?
Yes. All right, motion passes 4-1. Next one on the list, Dr. Shiflett, you have that as well.
Upon review by the Content Review Committee in accordance with RCPS policy IIABB, I recommend removing Looking for Alaska by John Green, as the book contains sexually explicit content as that term is defined in RCPS policy IIABA.
All right, board members, hearing the superintendent's recommendation, do I hear a motion?
I move to follow the superintendent's recommendation to remove Looking for Alaska by John Green, as that book contains sexually explicit content as defined in RCPS policy IIABA.
Thank you, Ms. Cave. I'll second that. Ms. Gilkison, if you'll do a roll call vote again.
Wait.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, wait, what was the superintendent's recommendation? What was the committee's
To remove
recommendation?
it.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry.
Ms. Hurst?
Yes.
Ms. Cave?
Yes.
Ms. Burgoyne?
Yes.
Ms. Lohr? Chair Cross?
Yes. All right, motion passes 5-0. That's our ending of our action items tonight, which gets us into our information items. And the first on the list tonight is going to be Ms. Liza Kaufman talking about our sources of strength. So we welcome you, Ms. Kaufman, here tonight.
Good evening, Dr. Shiflett, Chair Cross, members of the board, thank you this evening for the opportunity to talk a little bit about Sources of Strength, which is a suicide prevention program that Rockingham County has in each one of the 4 high schools. So I brought with me some of our peer leaders from each of the 4 high schools, because in Sources of Strength, one thing that's really important is to elevate the voices of youth, because students are valuable connectors to help. And in Sources, we have peer leaders and adult advisors. So the peer leaders are going to talk to you a little bit this evening about the things that they do to spread the messages of hope, health, and strength throughout their communities. To talk with people, you'll see the graphic on the slideshow that we have. The main graphic in Sources of Strength is the wheel. And on the wheel, you'll see the 8 things that research shows people can draw upon whenever the going gets tough, whether that is in a moment of crisis or even before the crisis, as we all navigate stressful days. So family support, positive friends, mentors, healthy activities, generosity, spirituality, and mental and physical health. As I said, the program features peer leaders and adult advisors who are nominated as influential members of their school communities, and we have been the beneficiaries of continued community support from the Community Services Board to implement the trainings, and they have provided some funding for our campaigns as well. But the most powerful voices come from our students. So would the folks from Broadway please step up? Will you just say your, when you speak, will you say your name and your grade, and then share a little bit about the campaigns that you guys have planned?
My name is Miriam Leonava. I'm a senior, and I think so, yeah. Okay, my name is Miriam Leonava. I am a senior, and I'm a member of Sources. And one of the campaigns we have done was a game called Tic Tac Go, which includes physical health, positive friends, and includes everybody in school. And we include everybody in school, no matter their gender, ethnicity, or their needs.
Hello, my name is Molly Kate Atkins. I'm 16. I'm a junior here at Broadway. Today I'm going to be talking about the mentor part of the wheel. We did a campaign at PHS that honored our mentors. We as students were able to handwrite letters to our trusted adults we looked up to within our school. We were also given the opportunity to give out pins that said, "I am a trusted adult," to any adult in the school we trusted. As a student, I really liked this campaign because it honored our teachers in our school, and I believe they deserve a lot of more recognition. For example, I gave a pin to my counselor, who I really looked up to, and I feel like the teachers really feel better when we honor them. So, yes. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ingrid Molina Vega, and if you know anything about Broadway, we're very big on our mascot. It's posted everywhere around the school. So for our generosity, portion of the color wheel, we did a generosity turkey where our peers went ahead and went into every advisory, and they handed out little feathers, and students got to write what they were grateful about during the Thanksgiving season. And I loved that because I got put on that turkey. My name was actually on there, and it honestly made my entire month. And that's what Sources of Strength is about. It's spreading that positivity through not only the schools but also the communities. So I think that's pretty cool. And that's all for Broadway.
Hello, my name is Tajane. I'm a senior at East Rock. I just want to touch on some things that we did. I can't remember the wheel from the top of my head, but last year I actually helped run the faculty versus students game. So I don't know if y'all ever saw pictures. We don't have pictures up there. Oh, we actually do. We have the faculty basketball and the volleyball game. I try to run it. It was good. You probably will see me yelling right there. And I just think it was very much a hit because a lot of students were involved, old, not really old, older people going against the students was just sorry, y'all, was just a blast for the students to watch because, all the students were, yeah, sorry. But it was just, like, don't break your ankles. Like, we had Mr. Hart, if y'all know anything about him, and Palmer, just all those wonderful teachers that have been there for so long, just really having fun. And I guess that would be physical activities. That's one of the things on the wheel. So I think sources of strength is very important because, in high school, it's a lot of like groups. And I even stepped out of my comfort zone and just been very open to meeting and talking to new people. She was very kind and just very lovely. She got together with East Rock and we had a meeting and we separated in groups and just got all together and really just learned a lot about people that we would never talk to. So I think sources of strength is definitely something that every school should have. Adults participate, students participate, families, friends, all that. So that's what I think sources of strength is very important for our schools.
I'm Jake Dibb. I'm a senior at East Rock. I know East Rock we love our sources of strength. Whenever we meet in the top right corner, you can see that's from one of our past meetings when we meet as sources of strength. We're always trying to do everything we can for the school. I know all the students in there are super encouraged whenever we hold an event like the basketball game, the volleyball game. You can see the stands are full. All the students love to come out. And the basketball team, it looks a little ragtag because it's not always the basketball players. We like to bring everybody from around the school in just to build the sense of community in East Rock and encourage the positive friendships and then like the mentors with the teachers. East Rock loves to come together and Sources loves to help facilitate that and just build those relationships within the school to make sure everybody is seen and is always connected with everybody else. And East Rock we love Sources. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, my name is London Jackson. I'm a junior at Spotswood, and these pictures. Okay. So in the picture we have our
Is it working?
Oh, there we go. So they write letters on the sources cards, and then we post it on a bulletin board right outside the main office, and it's really cool. um, I don't know. Just sources of strength is a really good opportunity to meet students in sources of strength and outside of sources of strength, and we just collaborate across the school. This past week, actually, we had something for physical activities where just the whole school went out during advisory and we just walked the parking lot, walked the trails around Spotswood, so that was pretty cool.
What's your name?
Kendall.
Who's your favorite teacher at TA?
Coach Cornell.
That's one of our
videos. Because I can go to her for any advice I need.
Leo.
And who's a teacher at TA that you trust?
Ms. Wetzel.
Mr. Hutchinson is a cool guy who is fun.
Alex Lunsford. Who's your favorite teacher at TA?
The science Miss Dean.
Why?
Because she's always there for me and she's really funny and gives me cookies.
Aiden Van Horn. What grade are you in?
What's your name?
My name's Solomon Shiflett. I'm a junior from TA, and the picture in the top left corner was for our mental health campaign that we did. We made posters related to mental health, and we went around like our first and second lunches, and we asked people if they wanted to like take pictures with the poster to advocate like positive mental health. And I think that picture right there, like right underneath that picture, is like one of our first meetings we had. I don't know if I see myself. Yeah, one of our like first trainings.
Hi, I'm Lulu Fitzgerald, and I'm a junior at Turner Ashby. So in the top right corner, it's actually a picture of me, Mr. Crockett, and Solomon. But we are at Mountain View Elementary School. And that was one of our community campaigns where we got to read to the elementary schoolers in the specifically the kindergartners. And that was a lot of fun because we got to spread positivity and just get to connect with the kindergartners. And then, as you saw a little sneak peek of the video, that was our Trusted Adults campaign, where we interviewed students on who a trusted adult, a mentor, or a favorite teacher was in our school. And we put it all in a video and we sent it out to advisories to just kind of lift up people, lift up our teachers and the trusted adults. And yeah.
So, as you can see, Sources of Strength programs have been personalized at each one of our Rockingham County high schools. And our peer leaders use their voices to normalize help-seeking behavior, to show patterns of health, of strength, and to lean on the mentors and trusted adults that are in and around the school community and to talk to other people about how they reach out for help in times of need and how they prioritize their own hope, health, and strength by using the different parts of the wheel. So thank you so much, peer leaders. You did a great job using your voices to advocate and tell your stories. Are there any questions?
I have some questions. So how many people can join the group at each school? Or, I mean, if the entire school wanted to join, you could do that.
That is a great question. So ideally, they say that there should be one person in Sources of Strength for about every 10 people in the school. So that puts us at about 100-ish. I don't know of any times when we turn people away. We can't really do a training for all 1,000 people, at least not at one time. So what we like to do, the ideal, is to get like one person from each lunch table. So one person who is influential with each set of friends around the school community, so that the messages of hope, health, and strength are available to every friendship group throughout the school.
And then how can we as a board help you guys and or me just as an individual help you guys? Like, how can we support you as a board or just me as like an individual regular person or mom?
I think as a board, y'all already do pretty well. When we have these meetings, y'all can spread the message, and I think we can also do our part by doing it at football games. East Rock before we did a spirit week for the wheel. We dressed up as the colors of each day. I think we even did like a dress as your teacher day for mentors instead of the color. So I think just us advertising it not only just at school but football games, extracurriculars basically. I think would be the best.
And then like as a community member, right? Is there a way that you need us to help you or you're like, hook us up with dinner, like, whatever, I'll be honest.
Honestly, just use your voice and spread your positivity because that's really what Sources is about, is spreading that positivity and realizing that everyone in the community does have a voice and to use it every once in a while.
So on that note, you guys came to the board a couple years, well, not you guys, other kids that have graduated came to the board and gave us t-shirts. I wear my t-shirt when I get an opportunity. Thank you for that. I now need a sticker for my computer, so.
I can make that happen for you.
Awesome.
I would be glad to.
Thank you. I have a question. Do we reach out to the kids in night school?
That's a great question.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know about the enrollments specifically about night school. That wouldn't be that could definitely happen.
Here's why I'm asking. NRA too. When we see kids that have discipline issues, we typically ask them, "What are you involved in?" And they typically say, "Nothing." You guys are the ones that are going to help us fix that because they need to be engaged. They need to be connected to somebody in school, and that's what Sources is all about. So
It's for everyone.
And sometimes those kids find themselves in RA or in night school. So we need to figure out how to bring them in the fold too. But thank you guys so much for coming today.
Okay, on that part about the kids with the behavioral issues, at Spotswood, we try to bring them first a better path.
Promise this will be quick. For RA, like y'all visit the middle school. I don't know how RA works. I know some of them actually ride the MTC bus and stuff sometimes. So maybe the peer leaders can go like there to RA, and that's because we do games. It's not all just talking. We actually do games and connect with each other. Yes, like we did like the pose game. That was so fun. Y'all need to do the games. What the heck? We should do them right now. But we can like go there and like do the games because I know people always have fun. Like who doesn't like playing games and feeling childish again? Like we're growing up, so I think we could actually just go there and do like a visit because I've talked to some of them and they don't want to be in. They don't really do anything there. So I think visiting them would be like a good idea.
And in East Rock, what we've actually gone to like different advisories during the school day just to kind of give our little like explain sources to everybody, get the word out to speak, so to speak. We could absolutely do a very similar thing with RA and night school. Absolutely, I think all of the leaders and everybody in sources would be super down for that. So thanks for like pointing that out. That's like
Thank you.
Questions?
Oh, yeah.
How often do you get together to train? I know Miss Hurst and I attended one of your trainings. Is that a couple Fridays ago maybe? Is that once a year? How often do you do that?
Yes, approximately. So we have had, I think TA had a national trainer in June, and then Broadway and East Rock have trained and planned some, done little retreats for that for the fall. I think, although your individual schedules are probably each a little bit different, but there's like the training and planning, like the big meeting, and then each one of the different schools meets, like Broadway, you guys meet on club days? Do you all also meet on club days? Okay, so then there would be like regular meetings throughout the year of the kids.
And are those student-led meetings?
Yes, ma'am. So adult facilitated, each meeting comes in a 3-stage process: play, share, plan. And the ideal is for student voice to be featured in each one of those parts, but to different degrees and with different comfort levels, with different peer leaders. Are peers responsible for leading any one of the parts at your regular meetings?
Who was the national leader that did the TA training? Do you remember the name?
True.
Is that a first name?
Yes. I don't remember, but we could probably find them. All of their national trainers their like pictures and stuff are on their website.
Yeah, I saw them. How did you manage to get them here? Do you have to reach out to them?
Yes, ma'am, and we pay them.
Okay. And what about curriculum? Is there any type of curriculum involved? I saw that on their website as
There
well.
isn't like a lesson plan, like day one we do this, day one we do that. It's really education about the wheel, which you saw in that part of the training. And then like there is an adult advisor spiral bound notebook, and it has like, here's 15 games you can pick from, and here's like a trusted adult campaign idea, and here's a We Belong campaign idea, and like some basic kind of messaging in order to get folks started.
Is that something that you use or have, or just something that's available?
I don't think there's an adult advisor guide in my office, but they probably are out at the schools. They send them when they do trainings, but they go out to the actual school, not to me.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kaufman. Next on our information item tonight is our financial review. And board members, you will find that in your folder. Check that out. We do have Mr. Moyers over there, but we won't call him up tonight, but if you have any questions, you can contact Mr. Moyers. Appreciate all you do, and you're doing a great job. That leads us in tonight to public comments, and we have one person signed up, I believe. It is Michael Stemple. Come on up. And we have changed the little sounds at the end, but you'll get the idea. Thanks.
Thank you, board members, superintendent. Today I'd like to talk about different things. The telling and retelling of stories about the origins of our world has been done by people groups throughout history. Jewish people retell the story of their bondage in Egypt. Christians recount the death and resurrection of Jesus. Muslims tell the story of the Prophet Muhammad. And Hindus may talk of Brahma and the lotus flower. There are many other origin stories to mention here. It's important to know and understand where we come from and where our values come from. It is also important for us to know and understand the origin stories of our neighbors. This promotes understanding and mutual respect. Recently, it came to my attention that sections of the 4th grade English curriculum were removed due to the fact that the curriculum discussed the origins of various religious groups. Emails obtained through FOIA requests indicate that at least one teacher had stated that they were uncomfortable with teaching curriculum on religious content. This process of removal appears to have started as early as this past May and was only recently made public knowledge when it was mentioned in a recent school board meeting. A board member, in a Facebook post when running for school board this past year, called out the previous board for a lack of transparency. I would like to call on this board to be transparent on this issue and hope that a full explanation of the decision to remove certain parts of the 4th grade curriculum and any curriculum changes in the future. In the words of then a candidate for school board, and I quote, transparency. It is really lacking in our school board. I would also like to express my disappointment in the school board's recent decisions as it relates to book removals. There have been multiple occasions, as noted tonight, where the school board has rejected the recommendations of its committee they created. These individuals are unpaid volunteers who take time away from their lives and their families to follow the school board's mandate and initiative to identify books with sexually explicit content. My question for the school board is, why would you create a committee for this purpose and ignore their recommendations? Also, the board mentioned the importance of teaching local history. I too believe that's important. I would hope this would include the fact that RCPS schools were racially segregated, and the fact that this very building, the original Turner Ashby High School, was given its name soon after the Brown versus Board of Education Supreme Court decision that led to the desegregation of schools. I think it's important to tell all of our history, the good and the bad. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Stemple, if you will go back to the last board meeting at East Rock, and Dr. Shiflett gives an explanation of what your first concerns were, so you can watch that online. Now leads us, I believe, into board comments. Yep, and I'll start with Ms. Berglund.
I have none other than thank you for singing to my children.
Ms. Cave?
Well, I hate to bring this up at the end of a meeting, but I failed to do it when we were doing action items and we voted on the books. But we've been advised to, anytime we we move away from the superintendent's recommendation that comes from the content review committee, to state exactly why. And we've been doing that as advised by stating the page numbers that are in the books that have the sexually explicit content on them. So here they are, page 25, and this is for the book Allegedly by Tiffany Jackson. Pages 25, 26, 27, 54, 55, 61, 62, 100, 118, 119, 160, 164 to 165, 211, and 298. And again, those page numbers may differ depending on the print date, and I have those excerpts available for the public as you need them. Thank you. I don't have anything else.
First? All right, Ms. Lohr?
I just want to publicly thank the staff at Wilbur Pence for being so welcoming to us tonight. And big kudos to you guys for providing us dinner that was a spaghetti supper fundraiser for TAFFA. I love it when we can double dip like that. So thank you guys so much for your hospitality tonight. And that's all I have. Thank you.
No, thanks. I'm good.
Real briefly, first of all, thank you, Mr. Puffenbarger, our SRO here, for being here tonight. And thank you for all that you do for our students and our staff. We really do appreciate that. I was just reminiscing today on my time on the board over the last couple of years, and just looking what can bring you in 1 year. And I sat here last year and asked the board to bring up Governor Youngkin's model policies to be voted on, and the board at that time did not vote for all of Youngkin's model policies to be put into effect here in Rockingham County Public Schools. And it was maybe a year before that I had brought to the board's attention that we were hiding information from parents as a school division when a student came to school and wanted to change their name at school and didn't want their parents to know, that we wasn't calling home and telling the parents. And I looked at the board at that time and I said, that is wrong not to allow the parents to involvement inside of something so personal and something that needs parent involvement with. And I can remember I was out at Your Pie, it's in District 3 on 33, and there were some young parents that were in there that day. And I introduced myself, told them who I was, Matt Cross, the school board for Rockingham County Public Schools, and I told them our current practice for our school division, what we were doing. And I asked them, I said, as parents, they had 3 or 4 young children that were with them, I said, do you agree with our practice and what we're doing as a school division, or would you want to know if your child changed their name when they went to school? And they were both horrified that the schools would keep that information away from their children. And they said, we would absolutely, these are 2 young women in their 20s with young children. They said, we would absolutely want to be notified that our kids are struggling with this, and we would want to know about it. And I was just reminded about that last night when I had dinner with some very close Latino friends of mine, and they knew that I'm on the school board here in Rockingham County and knew what we had been going through. And when I told them that, they were shocked that we would keep that information away from parents. And I remember it was a year ago, sitting right here. I was sitting down when Ms. Burgoyne is sitting tonight. And I said, after this year's election, we will adopt Youngkin's model policy in full on our first meeting. And that's exactly what we did as a board. And so I just want to say thank you to the board members that came on that were in favor of adopting Governor Youngkin's model policies in full. The 2 things that the old board didn't want to do was that part of telling parents when a child was changing their name at schools. And the second piece, I believe it was under Section H of that policy, was males playing in female sports. They didn't want to address that. And this board came on and we addressed it. We adopted the model policy in full. And I just want to say tonight, thank you from the bottom of my heart as a parent and as people in our community as well that have reached out to me and I've talked with. Thank you for adopting this policy for our school division. So that's all the comments I have tonight, and we do have reason to go into closed session. So do I hear a motion to go in closed session tonight?
I move that the board enter a closed meeting to discuss and consider the following pursuant to the provisions of Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A1, personnel, specific public officers, appointees, or employees for the purpose of considering such individual's assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salaries, disciplining, or resignation, and A2, 1 or more particular students specifically related to discipline and requests regarding compulsory student attendance based on the inability to benefit from an education at the school that would involve disclosure of information contained in a scholastic record concerning a student.
Thank you, Ms. Hurst. Do I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Lohr. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes. Yes. All right, motion passes 5-0. We are now in closed session. Thank you for coming out tonight to our board meeting.